Hello, beautiful souls. Namaste. I'm just getting y'all set up so I can drive. Let me turn my heater down so y'all can hear me. And it's raining, so if you hear all over this place, that's the rain hitting my windows. Hey, look at this, guys. I don't know how many of you are OG, but isn't this freaking adorable? I'm so glad we live in a day and age where it's okay now to like just be authentic and like what you like, because I love strawberry shortcake from my childhood, and I'm very excited that I get to wear stuff like this. You know, I'm not crazy about it. Not everything I own is strawberry shortcake, but you know, it's nice to have a shirt here and there to wear. It reminds me, I was talking to my instructor on the last day, and because I wore this for my pitch on the last day of class, and we were talking about, because we're the same age, and we were talking about how we both had the strawberry shortcake bedding sets, you know. So I had a canopy bed, so I had like the canopy and I had the comforter, and then she's like, did you have the doll that when you squeezed it and it poofed out a smell? And I was like, yes, I remember that. So it's just crazy, like the things you can bond over. Anyways, some Earl Grey black tea there, yum yum. I have good news before we jump into the message. I just had my meeting with my boss, my intern boss, and I'm being hired on. So officially today, once I turn in my final log to my instructor, and I'm done with school, I am now officially hired on as a contractor, and I will graduate and walk in spring. So yay! So that's exciting. Okay, so I've been wanting to talk about this high value stuff for a while because it pops up on my YouTube feed quite a bit, and I have listened to quite a few of the videos regarding what these content creators, their ideas of what a high value person is. And it's a little bit frustrating, and the reason being is because a lot of the content that's available on social media is very much surface level. A lot of the dating videos you see about how to get a guy, how to get a woman, they're trying to teach you very surface level techniques that will absolutely attract somebody, but you're not necessarily attracting a healthy partner, and it's not teaching you how to maintain a healthy relationship. So it's very surface level, and in my opinion, it's very damaging, and it's not helpful. And a lot of these high value content videos are in that same category. So, according to a lot of social media, high value is going to mean these are people who, you know, and let me preface this by saying this. None of this is necessarily bad to have, okay? So when I'm about to talk about, I'm not trying to paint it in a bad way, like you shouldn't have money, you shouldn't take care of your looks, things like that, okay? So I just want to preface with this. But these messages are saying, you know, high value is someone who presents themselves in a certain way. So this is going to be someone who learns how to talk a certain way, learns how to walk a certain way, learns how to, and unfortunately, a lot of it is how to manipulate the opposite sex in conversations, how to get people to do what you want them to do. It's centered around, you know, presenting yourself as high value. In other words, a lot of it is focused on how you look and how you act, and of course, a lot of emphasis on actual, you know, career and money focus. my problem with this is, you know, again, this is just my personal opinion, is again, a lot of this is surface level. Yes, if you are presenting yourself a certain way, you might attract someone who is going to perceive you as being that way. But if it's not authentic to who you are, you're not going to be able to maintain that image sustainably. So you're either going to attract someone and eventually stop those behaviors, or it's going to wear off because it's not the truth of who you are, and then that person's going to get frustrated with you because you're not who you presented yourself to be, or you're going to get yourself stuck in a lifestyle or a relationship that you're not happy in because you might have attracted someone who's superficial. You know, if you're attracting people that care only about those surface level things like looks and money, then shocker when you attract someone who only cares about looks and money instead of an actual good person with morals and values. And again, this doesn't mean that if you care about looks and money that you can't have those other things. But if that's what you're focusing on and that's what you attract, you can't be upset later when you realize you got yourself into a connection with someone who doesn't really care about you as a person and maybe isn't in alignment with your true morals and values. So I have no idea why I just turned down this road, but okay, we'll flow with it. So the advice that they give, it's kind of frustrating. I feel like it can be beneficial in some ways because it can take someone maybe who's been struggling with self-esteem and self-worth issues, and it can encourage them to start taking better care of themselves. But if you're only doing that because you're trying to attract a partner, then that is not the right reason to be doing it. You should be wanting to better yourself for you. You should be wanting to, you know, if it's a matter of, I want to start dressing better, not because I want to be considered high value, but because it'll make me feel better. You know, if I'm someone who doesn't put a lot of effort into my looks, but occasionally when I do put effort into my looks, I feel really good about that, then that would be a good, positive reason to start putting more effort into your looks, you know. Done, you got to do your nails all the time, you got to have the Gucci bags and all the ridiculous pressure that they put on people, men and women, again, is you're putting the focus into the wrong areas. Why is this important? Okay, let me reword it this way. What would a real high value person be? Okay, well, think about what you want in a relationship. Most people, okay, unless, I don't know, but most people want someone who respects them, who listens to them, who understands them, who wants to get to know them, who understands reciprocity, who, you know, is a kind person, is giving, is compassionate, is responsible. Like, there are certain characteristics that regardless of what the person looks like or how much money they make, there are certain things that we want in a partner. That is what makes you high value. Okay? When you focus on the superficial stuff, you may get that. And that person may not have the other things that you want. So if your only focus is, I want to attract a high value man by appearing to be a high value woman, and then you attract a high value man who's wealthy and, you know, looks good, but then you attract him and then you realize this person is not in alignment with who I am as a person, there goes the problem. So I think the reason why I felt led to put this out there is because I see a lot of hurting people, men and women, who are so desperate to attract a mate that they are willing to do anything to make themselves appear more attractive. And what they're missing is that attractiveness, true attractive. You want to attract a real partner. The attraction is going to be is going to be coming from you being authentic. It doesn't matter. Now, I'm hearing this, the caveat, okay? Obviously, there's some basic standards you should have as a human being. Good hygiene, being responsible with your money. It doesn't matter how much money you make, but it matters that you're responsible with your money and that you're a good human being. There are some basic standards there, right? But you shouldn't be so hyper-focused on trying to look like the part. And instead, you should be focusing on loving yourself as you are. Why? Because you want a partner who loves you for who you are. And if you are presenting yourself as anything other than that, then it's not going to be a shock when you start to revert back to who you truly are, and that person is like, what is this? This isn't who I met. Does that make sense? So instead of focusing on these superficial ideations of what a high value person is, go inward. Think about who you are as a person. Fall in love with who you are as a person. Focus on those characteristics, those morals, and those values that you want in a partner, and embody that for yourself. And when you are doing that, and when you're on your healing journey, and you are, doing the work, and you are, choosing to be authentic and loving your life, you're going to glow very differently. And when you're in that energy, it's going to attract meaning it's going to be easier for you to attract a potential partner who is going to see you as you see yourself. And that person is going to respect you and, probably be on the same level as far as like morals and values and things like that. And the attraction, this is the other part of it that people understand. Sometimes people focus too much on superficial things like looks. Okay, well, I want a guy who's 6 foot tall and works out at the gym and has black hair and blue eyes, and they have this image in their head of what their ideal person looks like. And then you meet your real partner. And how many of you that are in healthy, happy relationships could say, my partner is not who I would have expected myself to fall in love with. This is not my typical person that I would date. When you are living authentically, the energy of the person that you end up with is what you're going to be attracted to. And when it's true, authentic attraction, you will naturally and organically be physically attracted to that person, regardless if they were ever your type or not. My current partner is shorter than me, and he's got super curly hair, and I love it. And it's a little weird for me being taller than my partner because I've not experienced that before. But that doesn't change my attraction to him. I think he's hot, and I love him as a person. He's an amazing man. And who would have thought? But I met him at a time in my life where I stopped trying to be someone I wasn't, and I instead chose to just be authentically me and love myself for who I am. And he came into my life, and he saw that in me, and he fell in love with who I am as a person. And that is high value. High value means that person is adding value to your life. High value is you know your own worth and value. It's not about looks. It's not about money. It's not about the car you drive or the purse you carry or the stuff you have or the home you own or the places you go on vacations. None of that matters as far as what makes you a high value person. Thank you, Spirit. I think the other reason why this message was so important is because I feel there are some people out there who were like me in the beginning, who are struggling to see their own worth and value because of the constant negative messaging we're receiving out there in the world, right? So if you're seeing all these messages, if you're trying to like date and put yourself out there, and all the videos you're seeing is how to be a high value woman, how to be a high value, and then the message you're getting is you have to look a certain way and you have to act a certain way, and that's not who you are authentically, and you start feeling like, well, maybe I'm never going to find someone because I'm not high value. That's not true. That's not true. Everybody has value, and you have value. And when you learn your own worth and value, you automatically become high value and will attract like. Maybe not right away. There's no saying when that's going to happen. You can't, I think sometimes we get a little impatient with that part of it. But you will naturally start to attract people and your tribe into your life that are going to see you as that high value person because you see yourself that way. Does that make sense? So, I am being led to go ahead and do a card pull, but that's the end of that message, and it's short and sweet, and I know it's going to resonate for the people that need to hear it, because when I was going through my little phase of trying to figure out how I can make myself more attractive to men, I got really frustrated with what I was seeing online, and I was like, this is like such bullshit. It's like so superficial. Like, what about integrity? What about manners? What about, all the other things that matter that were completely not discussed? And so yeah, I just don't worry too much about that stuff. Just worry about being yourself and loving who you are, and that automatically makes you high value. Okay, so we'll do a quick card reading. We're using my Leavenworth deck today because I love this little deck. It's fun. Holy Spirit, I trust and believe that these messages are coming from Source and are of truth as we are seeking wisdom, clarity, and understanding. We, as a collective, are divinely protected now and always. I do ask permission before tapping into anyone else's energy. And I want to thank all the love teams that are gathering to bring these messages. I'll show you. Oh, wow. The cards are really smooth. That's a good sign. It's, all right, let's see. Right on the bottom of the deck, and I'm going to turn it upright because I feel led to. That's the Ace of Wands energy. This is talking about new beginnings, taking action. I'm hearing being excited, being so I know this is true for myself. So since we are a collective, the people that come and watch, I feel like some of you are getting ready to go on new adventures, new endeavors. I'm hearing it could be a new business venture. I'm hearing for some people it's literally an adventure, like going on a trip. Along with businesses, I heard starting a new job, which kind of goes hand in hand, but starting a new business is definitely different than starting a new job. But basically a lot of new energy, but the energy behind this is very exciting. It's very optimistic, hopeful, and because the Ace of Wands in typical tarot is a wand that's on fire. So this is about like being very passionate. So this could be someone getting ready to pursue something they're very passionate about. I'm seeing in my mind's eye like a shelter for animals, like a dog shelter. I'm seeing specifically dogs, or like a dog rescue. Very exciting energy. And this is a great time to do it. Like I've said in previous messages, we're in the year of 9 going into the year of 10. This is closing out cycles and starting afresh, anew, with new beginnings. So this is a great time to embark on new adventures. Life is an adventure. That's how we can look at it if we really want to enjoy our life. Every day can be an adventure. All right, Holy Spirit, what do you have? Ooh, King of... Yeah, that's kind of just what I'm saying. King of Wands. So I don't think this is about man or woman. This is about masculine energy. The masculine energy is the doer energy. It's, if you think about masculine and feminine, the women typically, the feminine energy receives, the masculine gives. So this is an energy to go along with that Ace of Wands of stepping into that masculine energy of taking action. Okay, you're taking action. You're embodying that masculine energy. I am hearing for someone specific, this could be a woman who's coming out of like a divorce situation or out of a codependent situation where you have been kind of held back in that sense of not being able. So this might have been someone who was never allowed to have a job or something like that. And so this is you embodying your masculine energy, and this is kind of new for you. This is going to feel a little, I heard the word intense, a little awkward, but it's a necessary part of the process. What time is it? Because let's see. Oh, okay, that makes sense. Yeah, so that was for someone specific. Whoa, lots of cards trying to come out. What other message do we have, Holy Spirit? Whoa. Oh, King of Hearts. A lot of masculine energy today. Let's put this one that fell on the floor. Oh, how about them cookies? All right. So what's cool about this is not only are you going to be in your masculine energy, but you're very passionate. You're coming from a place within your heart. So this, whatever this is that you're going into and pursuing, it's, oh, I did just hear maybe for one person, this could be meeting a new man in your life. That's probably for like one person, but that could be, or this is someone already in your circle. But for everyone else, this is more representing, not only are you taking action, but you're doing it from your heart space. So again, with that, I feel like this probably has to do with getting in alignment with your mind, body, and soul, and taking action in a way that's in alignment with that. So the things that you are going to be pursuing, you're carefully choosing the things that you're pursuing and making sure that they are things that are in alignment with what's the word I'm looking for, Spirit? With your path, with your soul's path, with your journey, I just keep hearing alignment. So mind, body, and soul. So this is very passion driven, I feel. This new endeavor, whatever direction it is. A lot of very heavy masculine energy. So I feel this is a season of really, I'm hearing making bold moves, taking bold moves, big steps. Bold moves and big steps with this masculine energy. Oh, gosh, they keep just flying out of my hands today. Yeah, Six of Pentacles. Oh, and here's our, so I feel like this was just a confirmation for whoever it was that I said was going to, you just could be meeting a soulmate with this being, or it could represent a marriage. I don't want to go too much into that because I feel that's probably for like one person and I don't want to give false hope, but that is going to be for someone who resonates with it. But this is the Six of Pentacles. This is representing balance. But on the image of the Six of Pentacles, he's weighing the pentacles on a scale. So this is really understanding your own energetic boundaries and understanding what to give your resources, because pentacles are about resources. So what are resources? It's not just your money. It's your time, your energy, your focus, your attention. It's weighing those things carefully as you're moving forward and understanding the importance of knowing when to have healthy boundaries, knowing when to say no, knowing when to give. This is really important. I was just talking to a friend today about this, on your journey moving forward, how important it is to understand having that balance. I'm also hearing, don't be afraid of 666. It drives me nuts that people have put, we as people give things meaning. And numbers are universal understanding. It's just knowledge, it's understanding, and understanding of patterns. You can choose to believe 666 is a bad number, and that is what you will manifest into your existence, or you can choose to not believe that. And I choose to believe that 666 is a powerful angel number that represents, it's going to represent different things to different people. You can look that up. But I see it as balance and movement forward in a healthy way. So if you are seeing 666, don't panic, don't freak out. It does not have to be a bad sign unless you choose to believe that, okay? You give your beliefs power by whether you choose to believe them or not. And how you choose to believe them, I should say. How about one more card to close this out, Holy Spirit? One more. Whoa. Okay. So typically we would see this as kind of a heavier negative card. But with this 10 of Wands, because what comes after the 10 is the Ace. So what I see is this is wrapping up. I just said we're going into the year of 10. In this card, there's a man carrying a bunch of wands and he's burdened. You are dropping these wands and choosing only the one wand. Let me put it right. You're going to drop all those wands that have been a burden, that are no longer yours to carry, and you're taking that one wand with you forward on your new journey. You're wrapping up these cycles. This could be letting go of burdens, could be letting go of old belief systems. It could be letting go of people that are no longer adding value to your life. It could be walking away from situations or jobs or anything like that that are no longer, fulfilling your, that you no longer feel passionate about. I'm not saying, please, I've just heard it. I'm not saying you should walk away from a marriage because you're not feeling passion. That's not what I'm saying. But I'm saying walk away from situations that are no longer filling your soul with joy. If it's soul sucking and you're not happy there anymore, this could be a time to choose yourself. Choose your health, your mental health, your spiritual health, your emotional health. It could be letting go of the burdens of caring about what other people think of you. That is a huge burden. It could be, so I'm hearing someone might be struggling financially. You might be going through a season where you are having to bite the bullet and file for bankruptcy. This is very specific. This is letting go of that as being a burden and instead viewing it as a fresh start. Learn from the mistakes you made that led you to this point and choose better going forward. Don't carry that as a burden on your back, because we all make mistakes. So the point is that we learn and grow from them. I'm hearing it could be a burden of family issues with people that refuse to see you as you are. They're judgy, and they just have a lot to say about your life and the choices you make. You have the power to let that go and not let that be your burden anymore. And when you let go of this and you get into this energy, you're going to feel so light. When you stop worrying about what the world thinks about you and you're just focused on your own healing and your own growth and evolution and being authentically you, this 0 wraps the cycle up, and that 1 is right here. This is what that 1 represents. New start, fresh start. The image I always like to use that the Holy Spirit always shows me is a book. You have all these books that were your past that you closed. Those are done. Now you have this blank book in front of you, and you get to be the author of this book. You get to be in charge now. Instead of someone else writing it, now you're consciously aware that you're in charge and you're in control and you have the power to shape your life to what you want it to be with all this masculine energy. Put the pen to paper and write a story that you're going to love. I'll close with this. I want you to think forward 10 years from now, or maybe not even that far, 5 years from now. Look forward 5 years to your future self. What would your future self, who has written their story the way they wanted it to be, your future self that is living authentically, living in joy, living in peace, living in contentment, enjoying their life, truly just in love with who they are, in love with life, what would that future version of you say to you right now? And I'll leave you with that. All right, well, thank you so much for joining me today. I hope this message was a blessing to you, and I hope you all have a wonderful day. I have to go now pick up children from school and then finish out my hours so that I can graduate. Yay! Anyways, have a great day, guys. Namaste. Oh, yeah, and don't forget, you are high value. Love you guys. Bye.